Hey guys, welcome back to Hemlock Ridge. Today we're going to be finishing this run-in shed or lean-to shelter to use for storage. So stick around, we'll be doing that and a whole lot more right here on Hemlock Ridge. So it is an absolutely gorgeous day here today. I love this type of weather. It is late summer, but it is cool. It's like 73 degrees, sun is warm, air is dry, it's breezy. I mean, it's just a beautiful day to be out in the outdoors. So I've been kind of bad keeping up with videos. As it always happens, I wanted to capture this. So I'm lucky to have local Amish craftsmen in the area. They do phenomenal work. They literally mill their own logs, make their own lumber. The quality of their work is fantastic. And I connected with a local Amish man who we collaborated on designing this structure, which I'm going to use to replace my Shelter Logic shelter, which has just not been able to hold up to the snow. And I really like the Shelter Logic shelter. I think it's a great shelter for what it's designed to do. But when we get 3 or 4 feet of snow, which has happened the last few winters, and that snow comes in a 24-hour period, there's just no way that structurally that shelter is rated for snow load, and it is ready to fall down. I've bent it back into shape, but all of the piping and supports are crimped, cracked, and it will not make it another winter. So the idea is I'm going to use this, build a little bit of a stone ramp up to it, and then be able to park my tractor and my 6x6 utility vehicle in there to keep them out of the elements. I had this delivered, which I'm able to do in the middle of the summer. It finally dries out enough that I can get things back in here to the property. But unfortunately, and this is why I didn't catch it on video, the day this was going to be delivered, the gentleman who was going to deliver it on a gooseneck trailer, the elevation down from the main road was so steep, the trailer got hung up on the back of his truck. And so I didn't get a chance to get the camera out because I was helping him. And we had to put this on a mule and drive it about a half mile back to this spot from the main road out front. So this is pretty neat. What it is it's a almost like a lean-to type shelter. Some people call it a run-in shed or a loafing shed. And it's got a floor in it, which is nice to keep things out of the mud, get them out of the moisture a little bit. And it is made with kind of like rough cut lumber and live edge siding. And I really wanted to go with the live edge siding because I thought that would add a really neat rustic look to this here back on the ridge. Now, because of the width of this, I couldn't have it completely built out the way I wanted to. So I have to finish adding a 4-foot addition on the back end of this. And the idea is I'm going to be able to drive my tractor in there with the bucket, get it out of the elements, and there'll be enough room to kind of put the bucket into that 4-foot extension so that the back of the tractor isn't hanging out right where the elements are. So I have all the lumber here. I'm not a great carpenter. I'm going to do my best, but I'm going to go ahead and put this together and finish it up. Again, the quality here is really, really nice. I mean, just a metal roof, but all of the lumber is really rough cut, thick lumber. This should last a really, really long time and should hold up to anything that Mother Nature throws on it.
One of the first things I needed to do was to level out the ground so I could put in an additional skid and then attach the floor joists to that skid. The ground always looks level until you actually put a level on it. Sadie always likes helping out with a good project. Now that I've got the deck built, I can go ahead and start installing the floorboards. And I'm using some rough cut lumber, really nice stuff, got it from the Amish. It's much thicker and sturdier than the stuff you'd get in a home improvement store. And you might be wondering why I am nailing. Well, I got all of these nails, pounds of these nails from the Amish as well too, and much better deal than going out and buying screws for sure. I found this neighbor who moved in before I was even done building the shed. Next up was framing the walls. Hindsight is 20/20, as they say. Looking back, I probably should have put the soffit board on before putting the rafters on, but I wanted to make sure everything was going to fit together okay before I nailed it all down. It felt good getting the roof sheathing on because I knew I'd be able to get the roof over the addition and get it all watertight pretty quickly. Now at least if I get a good rain, the water's going to go ahead and cascade off the structure. Now I can go ahead and grab some live edge boards and start to trim those and use them to put up the siding. once everything was framed out and sided, I could go ahead and use my power sprayer to stain the rest of the shed to match. I'm using a silicone-based stain, which is supposed to be very good for water repellents. I wanted to add some lighting to the shed in case I'm using it in the evening, or I want to use it for even an event, hang out in there after dark, set up some chairs. So I found these solar lights. I'll put a link in the description. They're pretty neat. One solar panel charges both the lights. They've got a remote control, different color temperatures, and they'll run for about 8 hours on a charge. So these should fit the bill just perfectly. I moved over a lot of the stone that I had delivered a few years back to use for the floor of my other tarp-based shelter. And the good news is stone doesn't go bad, so I was just able to scoop it up and repurpose it to build a nice ramp to the new shed. Now that fall is done, I've got my equipment in the shed, and I've went to an Amish tarp shop, had some custom tarps made so I can keep leaves and snow from blowing in here during the cooler seasons. And what's nice is I had these made with grommets, so I can just screw them right into the beams and into the frame, and then I have double-sided zippers so I can unzip, walk in here, even roll these up out of the way when I don't want them down. I also have the Amish tarp maker sew a pocket on the bottom so I can install a piece of metal pipe in here to keep this weighted down, and it will make it a lot easier too when I go to roll it up. In order to have a mechanism to roll these tarp doors up, I'm installing what is essentially a clothesline pulley just above the doors. And I'm going to have two of these pulleys, and what I'll do is I'll use some string. The string will actually come down the outside, under the bottom of the tarp door, up the inside through the pulleys, and that allows me to pull that string to roll up the doors in a really easy, inexpensive way to be able to retract them when I need to. And last but not least, here's a tie-off point. So when I do have the door fully retracted, it does have the weighted pipe in it, will want to roll down, I can just simply take the string and fix it to this tie down point, and it will keep the door rolled up. I am so happy to have this project done, no longer having to worry about the old tarp shelter collapsing on my equipment, and this will keep everything really dry, out of the elements, and will be really just a nice structure to have in the future. If you like what you saw today, please go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a comment, I'll try to get back to you, and thanks again for hanging out here on Hemlock Ridge.